Good morning, YouTube and Facebook. My name is Jeff Blum. I'm the author of the book is To Cross the Answer. It is January 14, 2014, and the title of today's 6-minute sermon is The Number 14. The Number 14. Now, I didn't do a sermon this past Sunday nor the previous Sunday. Again, I apologize for those who, like to see a sermon every Sunday. But again, as I stated from the very beginning, there are many churches out there. There are many sermons preached all over the internet. My goal is to reach you with what I feel to be pertinent information that will advance your life as you either seek God, seek wisdom, or seek knowledge. The number 14 is an important number to God. It's no coincidence that today is January 14, 2014. I was in prayer in mid-December 2013, and I knew then that something was to happen on January 14, 2014. I just didn't know what it was. God is a mathematical God, in my opinion, that he talks in numbers. Numbers are important, especially prime numbers. Prime numbers are important in the Hebrew language. That being said, the number 14 represents a significance in the Hebrew language because it's a double portion. Hebraic numbers are added in prime, so 14 you would separate into 7 plus 7. 7 equal the number of perfection. So that's a double portion of perfection. Now, why is 14 important? I don't know for sure, but this is what I do know. I do know that on the first month of the year, on the 14th day, God ordered Israel to prepare the very first Passover meal in Egypt when they were still in captivity, when Moses was ready to set them free on the order of God. That happened on the first month of the first year of the beginning of the year on the 14th day. The second significant thing that happened was on the first month of the beginning of the year on the 14th day was the day that Jesus was crucified. So there it is again. And then thirdly and lastly, if you do enough research, and I'm borrowing some material here because I don't have time to do all the research, that on the first month of the year on the 14th day, the first month of the year on the 14th day, God made a covenant with Abraham. One, to give him a son. His name became Isaac. And two, for a redeemer. And that redeemer, of course, was Jesus. So as you can see, the first of the year on the first month of the year on the 14th day has major significance. But God operates, that's three, a trinity of three very important things. The fourth one, the number 4 has a significance in the form of resurrection. Lazarus was resurrected after 4 days. So there is power in that fourth time of the 14 number. Now, I'm not saying that something extremely significant will happen today. That's not my point at all. I just want you to look at numbers. When you're thinking about God, he speaks a language through numbers, and they become very important. Some numbers may be different from you. I'm a math guy, so I really enjoy it. Math may not be your thing, but every number is significant to God, and he will speak to you through numbers. Now, the reason why I did this sermon on the number 14 is because I knew I was supposed to do a sermon today, January 14, 2014. And what I'm saying to you is that I believe the number 14 of 2014 will be a number that will be very significant with God, much different than 2013. So if, like me, you are experiencing a lot of tumultuous activity, the weather is tumultuous. My life is tumultuous. Maybe things just don't seem to be going right in your life right now. There is an enemy of God. The Bible calls him the devil or Satan, and he knows about the number 14. The whole idea of all this activity is to get you either not liking God, out of position, act rashly, act emotionally, a whole host of things, because he knows that the number 14 is a blessing number no matter what. It's just the law that God has put on this earth, and he doesn't want you to experience any part of that blessing. Now, a blessing to you may be different than me, but a blessing is a blessing. So stay in faith, stay in prayer, and remember, if you want to be a part of God's family, it's very simple. Just invite Jesus into your life. Receive the forgiveness of sins, past, present, and future. Don't accept any more condemnation. Ignore the law once you have been redeemed. The law was to lead you to Jesus. Don't accept condemnation. Don't accept nothing but God's best. Inherit grace, which is your gift given from God. And you too will be able to see what the number 14 means to God. I know the number 14 means a lot to a lot of people, but to God, it means something very specific. The number 14, when I was age 14, was a big year for me. So I am very familiar with the number 14. Now, that being said, I do hope that all of you all will be aware of this year, receive many blessings from God, and I'll definitely keep in touch. I have another sermon coming up, and it's going to be titled, There Are Many Gods.